has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. It's Ferrall on the bench, coast to coast in the biggest way possible. Hanging out the bad seed, the broken, the bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion trigger, don't you do that? Along with the original golf gangster himself, the Tater and Tutty King, Carver High this afternoon. Mafia running it with Luke. I am your father. The midweek Where Do You Hurt Wednesday C2C rundown. We got Morency a double shot this very hour from Vancouver. And then later in the final hour, both Bob Nightingale, our USA Today national baseball columnist, joins us again. And John Jastrzemski, JJ from the Ringer, New York podcast, is back on C2C today. Unbelievable. Carver High, we've got a little Brian Daboll going on today at Wrigley, little businessman special.
Yeah, we love the afternoon games at Wrigley, especially on a Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you, Scotty, as we get ready here to get started. And yes, we do have Daboll. Let's go. Top of the third inning at Wrigley, scoreless between the A's and the Cubbies. The Steel Mill back for Chicago today. Justin Steele is on the mound. The A's are threatening first and third with two out.
Bases
Make
loaded
that
now.
Bases loaded as Langeliers walks here. So bases loaded and two outs for the A's. We'll see if they can capitalize on that coming up here. I have two other day games that are going to start in a little bit while we're moving along on Coast to Coast. One of them starts in about 5 minutes in Colorado, where, Scotty, the Diamondbacks have now lost 4 of their last 5. They've lost the first 2 games of this series to the Rockies, and they need a win in the worst ways. They are now tied with the Mets for the second wild card. Both of those teams 2 up on the Braves. Eduardo Rodriguez for the Snakes today. Austin Gomber goes for the Rockies. Minus 180 for Arizona, plus $1.50 for Colorado, and a 10.5.
I can't believe that they won the first 2 games. I thought Arizona would have won last night for sure, and I knew they'd lose the opener. I bet against them, and then I bet on them. And then the way they've lost the first 2, I have to say that they're going to lose again today. I mean, they've lost 4 of 5, and they're just hitting a wall in Rado, right? Like, and I do not believe for 1 second in, Rodriguez. His ERA sky high. And Gomber actually has a better ERA for Colorado, if you can even fathom that with the way they play in that thin air out there. So I'll take a shot again with that plus money in Colorado.
Yeah, amazing. The Diamondbacks, who were really, you want to say, the best or the hottest team in baseball for a 2-month stretch, they are fading here towards the middle to end of September, and that is not the time that you want to fade, that's for sure. The other afternoon game starts in about an hour. In Anaheim, we will have the White Sox and the Angels. Friends and family only, I would guess, this afternoon in Anaheim for these two teams. 35-116, 36-116, 61-90, the records here. Jared Schuster and Jack Kokanowitz are the starters. That's right, the law firm of Schuster and Kokanowitz in Anaheim. Right now, minus 150 for the Angels, plus $1.25 for the White Sox, and an 8.5.
Well, I think they're both so awful. I'll take Simon and Schuster at plus $1.30 if I can get my hands on it with the White Sox. I mean, why not? Like, they won the first game 8-4, got shut out last night. Give me that plus money, son.
Why not? Getting involved there, that's a tough one, man. That's why you got to have a little action to be watching the White Sox and the Angels in a late September afternoon out in Anaheim. They
are so
bad
they won't even put it on TV.
Won't even do that for you either. And the Cubbies are going to get out of this, Scotty, as Cameron popped up with the bases loaded and 2 outs. So no runs for Oakland. They move to the bottom of the third. out at Wrigley. There's actually something else live going on, too. A little Champions League this afternoon for you, Scotty. How about this? And there's several games, but because we're in the very early, they're just starting here with the group stage. But one of them is an absolute heavy hitter game, which is Man City and Inter Milan. They are 6 minutes in with that. That is scoreless. Of course, you also have PSG's playing Girona. Dortmund's playing this afternoon. Celtic are playing against Bratislava. So you do have yourself some Champions League action today.
TR ran a steel mill in Bratislava. He did.
Bratislava, unbelievable.
He liked Bratislava. I don't have
have
that game
on TV.
Nobody
has it on.
Well,
nobody has it.
I do in a different area of the Ferrall Palatial. I do not have that channel here. It's a massive disappointment. I wanted to watch that with your boy Superman playing for City.
Very unfortunate. He's an absolute animal, that guy, no doubt. So we have that cooking this afternoon, too. We'll keep our eyes on that. We'll go through everything from last night with the baseball. We have everyone else playing tonight. The Yankees did win late night in Seattle. Big night for Juan Soto, 40th homer of the year. He's out-homered in every ballpark. I think it was his 200th homer, too, right, Scotty? A lot of milestones with that homer that he had. 240, and he's now homered in every single ballpark in the major league. So nice night for Soto.
And Judge Yankees had, the 4 RBIs.
And he started it off, right? The 2-run double in the top of the first, boom, got him out 2-0, and they ended up smashing Brian Wu in that game. They now have a 4-game lead over Baltimore, who looked so lifeless and gutless last night at Camden Yards, losing 10-0 to the Giants. It was so bad, Scotty, they told Craig Kimbrell to go home this afternoon. Basically, Kimbrell was so bad, they said, just leave. We're going to find somebody else who can pitch out of the bullpen. Yeah, they DFA'd Craig Kimbrell about an hour ago. So the Orioles send him packing with a week and a half to go in the season. Things are falling apart for them. I mentioned that the Mets did win, beat up the Nats. Diamondbacks lost. Braves lost. So now Mets and Diamondbacks tied. They have the second and third wild card. Braves are 2 back, Scotty, but now they're 2 back of both teams because the Diamondbacks have lost so much.
What a shame. I mean, how will I ever survive the Braves falling out of a playoff picture? They're 2 out. I love it.
What a shame that is to hear. And one last baseball note, which we'll talk about, is the Tigers won again in extra innings against the Royals, but the Twins won as well. So that stays at 1.5 heading into tonight's games. With Seattle losing, they fell to 3 back of them. So the Tigers still very much involved, and they have their ace going tonight, Scooble, in Kansas City against the Royals. So we will get to all of that later as well. We have lots of pain day, Skinny, to get to, of course. As it's Wednesday, we start to fully turn our attention to Week 3, including the Jets and the Patriots tomorrow night. They will start Week 3. You got all the injury stuff today, including Scotty, and I just watched video of it. I'm stunned. I mean, Jordan Love's running around at that Packer practice like nothing ever happened to him. So, I mean, I'm starting to believe he might play this week, and I think at the minimum next week. I mean, he's moving around and doing stuff.
Yeah, I would imagine if he's practicing and the way he looked, he's going to play.
That's wild. I mean, I know they get these wrong sometimes, but that everyone's like, 4 to 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, MCL, he's not going to play. Their season's finished. Their season's done. That game looks a lot different now going to Tennessee, right? Tennessee stinks. Love actually plays instead of Willis. And they got by last week with Willis. If Love is playing, they're going to be in real good shape in that one. So we have all the injury news to get to. We'll hear from some coaches today. I got a lot of college football for you today as well. Bunch of coaches there too. So we'll get to everything here on Coast to Coast.
I love all the college football racks you got for this week. I know you're putting up today on the show. We're going to be going nuts, hitting college winners. And then tomorrow night we got a game at Snoopy.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was playing, but he had that program was already going there.
Only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
Get Sports Rage weeknights at 10 on all of our outlets, the streaming networks, TV stations, radio stations, satellite radio, Sirius XM channel 159. You can catch Gabe with us, every day on Coast to Coast in the first hour, a double shot from Vancouver. So you were just talking about Arthur Blank. He gives away basically his concessions. Everything's $5. And then I go to a fight at the T-Mobile Arena and pay $75 for 3 drinks. And then they're going to put him in the Ring of Honor. And he's literally giving away soda and hot dogs and chips. He's just giving it away now. It's not $5. Everything's free. Carver High is very upset with him getting into the Ring of Honor.
He is, but that's a beautiful thing, Scott, about when you own the team and you own the stadium. You can put yourself in the ring. You can put yourself in the Ring of Honor. You know what? I think it is kind of awkward, to be honest with you, that Arthur Blank, as the owner, is going on to their Ring of Fame or whatever right now. When he still owns the team, it seems to me it's a pretty vain thing to do for a team that actually hasn't won yet either. But with that being stated, him and Matt Ryan were very, very close. Arthur Blank is liked by the players and the fans as well, actually. Like, you talk about concession prices, it actually means something. People always talk about their pocketbook, right? You were talking about getting crushed buying drinks in Las Vegas the other night at $20 a pop. The fact is, Arthur Blank, same thing with the soccer team that he owns. Everything is like $5 or under. Like, like a slice of pizza is $4. A Coke is $2.50 or whatever. A hot dog is $3. Like, he basically charges super cheap standard prices. He doesn't look to gouge people on the concessions, and it makes people happy. And another thing is, people spend the money anyways. They have an amount of money that they're looking to spend. And I'll tell you, Scott, if people only drop $60 on concessions, they're more likely to buy a jersey on the way out. They're more likely to buy another ticket on the way out. And you know this too. You live there, so you would know Atlanta better than anyone, Scott. He needs to do this to get people to go to games, bro.
That's
Point
right.
blank. Point blank. Like, the Atlanta Hawks don't draw. The Braves move stadiums every couple of years. The hockey team, the soccer team draws better than the football team. Like, the Falcons aren't it's you're an SEC country, man, right? Like basically the Georgia Bulldogs are better than the Falcons are, right? Like as far as winning and prestige and stuff.
Without a doubt.
Right. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying, Scott? So, like the Atlanta Falcons, I'm not saying they don't get fans, but they got to hustle to get 45, 50 in there. Like if they were charging $20 a pop and stuff, they wouldn't, for drinks, they wouldn't get as many people, point blank. Like it's just the marketplace. It is what it is. You see it in Miami as well. On the East Coast, people eat it up no matter what. Like in the South, man, weather's nice. People have things to do. They say the team sucks. I'm a college guy. I'm not even a pro fan. So it's actually a competition there, Scott, as you know.
I saw like the first year the Thrashers were in that building. It was called Phillips Arena back then, and I called it the Hub when I was doing the games. And they both played there, the Hawks and the Thrashers, and they drew 18 every game the first season when they were an expansion team. And then the second season, until they left, the place emptied out like it was on fire. No one went ever. And the thought of them getting another team
want to go
down
back.
there,
they're going to go back.
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Now, I've heard all about how big Atlanta is. I heard all about how they gave them an Olympics. Then they gave them a hockey team for a second time. Now they're going to give them a hockey team for a third time. The baseball team moved because they didn't like people running to their cars after the game because it was in the hood, and you get murdered or buy crack on the way to your car.
That's what they're saying. Let's just cut to the chase, Scott, with the hockey team. They're putting it in the burbs. It won't even be in Atlanta. That's the new strategy.
The rich white people are, because it was in the city. And I used to go to games, and I would leave Braves games. And I'd be like with my buddy or whatever, be like, I mean, we got to pick it up. We got to pick up the pace.
You ever been to Richmond, Scott? Richmond, Virginia? Just for the record, I know it's random.
My sister lives there. Stay away from my sister.
So you know about it. I was in Richmond, Virginia before. I saw the stadium, and it was the Braves affiliate. And I was thinking, damn, if you ever need motivation to play well, to get the hell off the farm, get off the minor league team, this is a good example. Like it was like like you said, it was like the murder capital square foot per capita in America type thing. I'm like, damn, man, this is hardcore. It's like, it's like bus station, nothingness, and there's this baseball stadium, and it's the Braves AAA team at the time. And I'm thinking, man, this is some hardcore stuff, man. You're going to want to play well to get the hell out of here, bro. I'll tell you that.
They have good, so Richmond and VCU are, what a great rivalry. They're like 8 miles apart, just like Duke and North Carolina. And the Spiders and Rams hate each other's guts. The two schools hate each other. They're like venomous toward one another. I think it's kick-ass. So I wanted to ask you, and we'll come back and get into this, your initial thoughts on the doubleheader already on Monday Night Football next Monday night. And your Bills are one of the teams playing.
They're going to get a very desperate Jacksonville Jaguar team rolling in to the Ralph. I still call it the Ralph in Buffalo. God knows. What's it called now? Highmark? Authority? New Era?
The Ralph's way better.
Yeah, let's just call it out for what it is. Or Orchard, Orchard Park. Honestly, if I had to bet, I'd say Highmark. Carver would probably know. If I had to bet, I'd say it's Highmark. Like the Bills, I don't know, they change the name of the stadium all the time. But yeah, I'm fired. You know what? I like these doubleheaders, Scott. Very random, though, isn't it? That we're into week 3 here, and now they have a doubleheader going on at the same time. I tell you what, man, the Bengals can't lose this football game, Scott. You and I talked a lot about, 0-2s and 0-3s and stuff, but 0-3 is a kiss of death. But if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, you're in a must-win situation on Monday, which I think they will win. And I'm excited about the Bills team, Scott. They seem to have a different sort of edge to them about, one game at a time. McDermott, I'm going to say McDermott's on the hot seat, but he hears it. He knows, they need to win. Like, you know what I mean? They're very focused. I guess that's the best way of putting it. The Bills have been very focused so far this year. I like the intensity that they played with.
So we'll come back. We got another shot with Morency. We'll ask him about some of the other games, including college football this weekend on Coast to Coast.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was playing, but he had that program was already going there.
Only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
So, Morency, what's your big stat with the Saints? And I just heard you say you think they're going to beat the Eagles on Bourbon Street.
Well, I'll tell you what, week 3 is always really tricky, right? Week 2 is tricky. Week 1, everybody thinks they know what these teams are going to be when we really don't. And then week 2, you're not sure. What happened in week 1? The Saints are a good example. Okay, so what? They beat the Carolina Panthers. Then they actually smoked the Dallas Cowboys after. And people are ready to anoint the Saints right now. And I actually do think it's like the matchup against this Philadelphia Eagle team. I think the Saints are going to be able to throw the ball on the Eagles. I don't like teams on the road, Scott, when they play a Monday nighter after the fact. It's a tough spot to be in going on the road, especially against a team, especially against the Saints team. That, they were in Dallas, but it wasn't a prolonged road trip. It's a quick turnaround, New Orleans to Dallas, etc. But how about this, guys? From 2017 to now, so from 2017 on, there's been 57 quarterbacks in the NFL who have started the season 2-0. 39 of them have made the playoffs after the fact. So you start 2-0, you're off to a pretty good start. 39 of the 57 quarterbacks have gone on to make the playoffs. The only quarterback to start the season 2-0 more than once and not make the playoffs, Derek Carr. Pretty crazy. He's been 3-0. He's been 2-0, 3 times. 2017, 2020, and 2023. Derek Carr. So Carr's had these hot starts before. He's been on teams with hot starts before. He's had hot starts before. But this is a big game now, Scott. Same thing with your Steelers and the Chargers game. Someone's going to be 3-0 here, right? And you start to become, you are what your record says you are, but we really don't know what the Steelers' offense is still yet, Scott. It's not very good. So you're not going to be able to win. It's sort of like Michigan. They can't win playing this type of offense forever. It's going to catch up to them. And it's amazing. The Chargers, their offense really hasn't shown a lot. They just run the ball on every play, even though they have Herbert. But someone's going to be 3-0. So it's a big week this week, Scott. You can argue that the Ravens season's on the line this week. I said it yesterday about it gets late early here, like Yogi Berra once said, Scott. some big-time games, but I'm really intrigued to see if the Saints can do this for real. If the Saints can beat the Eagles on Sunday, then let's let the hype begin. And that division's a fun division with the Falcons, the Buccaneers, and the Saints suddenly.
I think the Lions are straight up 8-0 after a loss and 8-0 against the spread after a loss. They're playing in Arizona.
Do you trust them? In Arizona, listen, I loved it at 3.5. The market adjusted right away, Scott. It went to 3. I like this Arizona team, and I think this Detroit team is a little bit overpriced. I think they're a good team, but I don't think they should be these big favorites all the time. Arizona can play with these guys. The problem with this game for me only, guys, is the fact Kyler Murray's coming off a perfect performance, literally and figuratively. He had a perfect quarterback rating. He went 5 for 5 throwing passes 20 or yards more through the air. All right? The odds of going 5 for 5 in an NFL game for a quarterback, 3%. He was that good, guys. So can he continue this? Can they, light it up? And the Rams are kind of a beat-up football team. This is going to be a fun game, Scott. I'll tell you what, my boy Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan is killing it. For you prop players out there, you can bet will a player record a sack or not. This guy's got sacks in both games so far this year, Hutchinson.
So as far as college football goes this week, we got games on one game, South Bend and App State on tomorrow night, along with that Jets-Pats game. Then Friday, Stanford at Syracuse, Illinois, Nebraska, San Jose State, and Washington State in Pullman. That Illinois-Nebraska game in Lincoln is pretty juicy. The Huskers are laying 7.5. They're both 3-0, and Dominic Raiola's been good for the Huskers.
He really has been, but Illinois have been a solid football team that were able to slow down Kansas's offense. I think this is a close game. There were 9s out there earlier in the week, and it's come down. So the so-called pro bettors, sharp bettors, attacked Illinois early. Scott, a football game I can't wait for. We talked about USC and Michigan, the first Big Ten game and all that, but Oklahoma play their first SEC game, and they're hosting a smoking hot Tennessee Volunteer team. Totals 57.5, Scott. Tennessee averaged 63 points a game on their own. They're going to score. And Oklahoma will be able to score on Tennessee. This game sails over 57.5. Love the over.
Yeah, and it's in Memorial in Norman, Oklahoma. See if the Vols can go into that hostile environment and win a football game. It'll be huge. Good choice for the game of the week.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoff.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was playing, but he had that program was already going there.
Only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
All right, we start talking about pain day now as we get ready for the start of the NFL weekend on Thursday with Thursday Night Football on Prime at Snoopy between the Pats and Jets, and then it rolls right into a great Sunday of action. Carver High, let's start talking about all the skinny.
Yes, let's do that. Really fast. 1-0 A's at Wrigley. Tyler Soderstrom with a solo home run for the A's. Who? And the Diamondbacks with a 3-spot in the top of the first inning in Colorado against the Rockies. Corbin Carroll had a leadoff homer, RBI singles from both Christian Walker and Moreno. So 3-0 Snakes as they play in the second in Colorado. Yes, let's start with Mike Tomlin and the Steelers and the place the Steelers play, which will open its doors back up on Sunday afternoon, and you will be among the 70-plus thousand who go walking through them, getting ready for another year of Steeler football. I actually have a double shot from Mike today because Mike he had a lot to say yesterday at his weekly press conference. First, I mentioned to you when I read the quote, I thought Mike was, usually he's very decisive and very matter-of-fact and lets you know how he's thinking. Here he is talking about the quarterbacks again, Scotty. He says he's going to start Fields this week, but he's still leaving that door open that he wants to get Russ in there whenever he's ready.
As I sit here today, Russ is not scheduled to be a full participant in practice, and so we're ready in a plan that features Justin and his readiness. We'll follow Russ throughout the week. And if his participation gets to a level in participation and quality where we should consider him, we'll delve into that at that time. And obviously, when that happens is a component of the consideration. But as I sit here today, he is not scheduled to be a full participant tomorrow in practice. And so we're readying ourselves around Justin, and we'll stay in that mindset until something else happens. Hypotheticals is a waste of our time.
So what that means in Portuguese is that Fields is starting Sunday against the Chargers, and if he wins, then he has to deal with it accordingly. If he loses, then Russell Wilson will start the following week.
That is pretty much after all that roundabout. He keeps bringing up when he becomes a participant. Let's say this guy's won 2 games. We're going with Justin right now. Let's just go with that. This guy's winning. I'm not really let Russ go get healthy. We'll talk to you when he's healthy. That's pretty much where it should be. Now here's the other one. I'm sure you've seen this story around Fields let the reporters know that Mike Tomlin gives out these game balls to players that used to play against teams when they win, and Russell Wilson was one of those on Sunday because they were in Denver. Petty game balls, I believe, is what Justin Fields called it after the game. Nobody likes giving out Mike Tomlin's state secrets, Scotty. So, of course, they asked him about this yesterday. Let's just say he really didn't want to talk about it.
Mike Justin mentioned how rewarding it was to get the win in Denver for Russ. He said you gave out a petty game ball. Is that something that you've done often? Is it rewarding for you to get that win for him?
None of your businesses, respectfully. There's certain things that go on among teams that I don't talk about. Whether it gets out or how it gets out is unimportant to me, and I'm not overly guarded against it. But it's just certain things as a leader that I talk to the collective about that I have zero intentions of sharing with the larger public, because it's about our collective and how we come together and how we appreciate and support one another. And, I can't give you all the ingredients to the hot dog. You might not like it.
Well, I'm a big fan of hot dogs, I have to say. And, look, this guy has got to win in the playoffs. I think at some level it's getting stale in Pittsburgh, watching them win regular season games and everybody talking about how he's never had a losing season. And fair enough, I am not one to sit here and say that he hasn't done a good job, because he has. When you win in the National Football League, that's all that matters, winning. And then you go to the playoffs and lose. Eventually, someone is getting sick and tired of that, right? Fans, media, owner. I think the Rooneys love Tomlin, and I've never seen a light at the end of the tunnel that says he's not there. Their fans have tried to get this guy fired every time they lose a game, and it's not happening. But he needs to win in the playoffs. All this, 2-0 stuff, and they scored 13 points in Denver. Let's not get, too ahead of ourselves here. They're not that good offensively. Again, they are, in fact, boring offensively. Their offense sucks. And it sucked under Canada. It sucks under Art Smith. And I don't know what to say. They obviously win with defense. And they win with TJ Watt. That's why they win. And I don't think there's any other reason. I don't actually sit here and believe that he's some mastermind genius coach and that they win because of him. And I think all of his nonsense at his press conferences, like he's a broken record for me with the whole Belichick act. Like, I'm never saying anything. Don't waste your time. It's none of your business. We're focused on this week. We're focused on the game ahead. We're not going to reveal what we're doing. I'm so sick and tired of it. Like, I'd rather watch him get in a fight with a media person.
We'll never talk about what's part of the collective. I like that's when he's thrown out a lot. The collective
schematically
has brought out a lot so far this year for Mike Tomlin. Staying in that game, Scotty, of course, the Chargers are coming to town to see the Steelers. Justin Herbert did not practice today. He has a bit of an ankle problem, which he suffered last Sunday against Carolina. It's the same foot, Scotty, where he also had the plantar fascia in training camp. So Harbaugh says it's going to get better every day, and he, of course, expects him to play on Sunday. But I know one thing, Scotty. If there was one guy or one team I really wouldn't want to be going up against if I was trying to hobble around on a gimpy ankle, it's TJ Watt. Probably not the guy I want to see in a circumstance like that.
And, they got more than TJ Watt.
Yes.
Highsmith's flying in there. Hayward's trying to push down. And let's face facts. If he's immobile because of the ankle and the bad foot and everything else that he's had, he's going to be in for a long afternoon in Pittsburgh, and I certainly hope so.
Yes, we certainly hope so indeed. -1.5 for the Steelers, which has not moved from yesterday. Still 35.5 with the total. Might be down a tick, right? Was that 36.5 yesterday, Scotty? So maybe down a point with the Herbert news today of him not practicing, most likely.
Yeah, listen, I haven't gone to a game in 2 years in Pittsburgh, and I have season tickets, so I'm just looking forward to going. And then it's always fun to see the reaction of the people in my section when I show up there and behave poorly.
They get excited when you do that, right? When you show up, you're going to go in there this week, and you're going to gas the whole entire section up, and they're going to get very excited.
Hey,
you're going to bring a lot of thunder for them.
They know me. One guy said once to us, "Are you on drugs?" And we said, "Yes, we are."
That's precisely. So that's what you're gonna, and they're not stopping at the Permane Brothers. You've got the big steakhouse hit.
Yeah, listen, I don't
there's
like
no Permane's
with
the Yinzers
when
and
you're
all that.
Hammered, when you are completely inebriated, you go to Permane Brothers. Otherwise, I eat at high-end establishments. In fact, I made my reservations for 2 5-star restaurants in Pittsburgh on Saturday night and Sunday night. I'm going there Saturday morning. I'm going out Saturday night. I'm going to the game. Then I'm going out after the game. And then I'm flying back and hopefully not having any problems getting back to New York City on Monday morning.
You got that early jetliner, that early flight out of Pittsburgh. First flight.
Strung out.
Boom. Get him right out. Get him right out there. And that's a great flight. You're up and down in like 40 minutes. That's the one good thing about that flight, Pittsburgh to Newark.
The only thing bad about it is it's a rip-off flight because they don't do it a lot. So whenever they have routes that they don't do a lot, the flights are expensive as hell. And they're the small planes, the ones where you're like got 2 seats on each side. That's it. And you're in there like it's real small overhead space. They give you the business.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was playing, but he had that program was already going there.
Only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
All right, so now you're going to throw me Saints Super Bowl odds, and I think this is getting a little crazy. This 2-week Saints euphoria where not only did we talk about it yesterday with our boy John DeShazer down in New Orleans with the Saints, but now you're telling me they're going to the Super Bowl? Like, I am not buying this at all.
I'm not buying it either, but it's information, and I figured that I would give it to you. Of course, the Saints were 100-1 before week number 1. They went to 80-1 after that win over Carolina. They've now gone to 30-1 after demolishing Dallas at Jerry's World last week. 27% of the bets are on the Saints to win the big game since the end of week 2. So everybody jumping on the Saint bandwagon, Scotty, after a couple of huge wins to start the season, scoring tons of points. This week, though, gets a little trickier for them as they will be having the Eagles come to the Dome this week. So the Eagles coming off of that tough Monday night game that they lost to the Falcons at home. They will be in Nolans. Saints minus 2.5 with a big 49.5 total.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not denying what they did was impressive in Dallas. I don't care about their win over the Panthers. I know Pop Warner teams that can beat them at this point. So I think Philly can go in there and beat them.
I think Philly can go in there and beat them too. And I think you're going to get a little bit more of a little focused Eagle team after Monday night. Now, I don't obviously like the short week or whatever, all that, but there's plenty of teams that get by that. I think they're going to be able to score points. I know scoring's been down. Some of these games have been pathetic. I don't think you get that in this game, Scotty. I know there's one of these higher totals this week. I think the Eagles and the Saints will actually score some points.
What is the deal with this whole obsession with, they play on Monday and then they have to play on Sunday, and it's such a problem? Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Like, so I played today. I played like 7 games at 6 in the morning. I'm running up and down. I'm almost 100 years old. And then, I could feel it in my legs now sitting here. And then Friday morning, I'll play at 6 in the morning. 2 days later, after I've been crippled, I'm going to play ball again. And I don't understand what is so hard about 6 days later playing a game when you're paid millions of dollars to play football. I really don't get it. If you had to play on, I guess I could follow the rhetoric of Sunday to Thursday would be a little difficult, particularly if you have to go on the road. But come on, Philly played at home and lost. They choked, and now what? They got to fly 2 hours to New Orleans, and I'm supposed to act like they need to go to the hospital and get IV bags? Come on. I mean, you got to be kidding me here.
Get all the charts and graphs with the rest and things like that.
I don't care about nerds. I don't listen to nerds and losers and dorks. Charts and graphs. I hate those people that you bring up because they're all a bunch of dorks. Is there anything worse than watching a game? Seriously. Now, listen, I've been watching games since, before Christ. And I have never in my life seen how now on every third down, the analytics pops up. Should they go for it on fourth down, and the probability and the math and the graphics and you know what I do when I watch now and I see these numbers pop up like 40%, this is a 40% success rate on this analytic. You know what I pray every time they fail. Every time I hope it doesn't work. Because they constantly, every single time they say go for it on fourth down. And that is just not the way football works. I know they think that it does. I know that they're all obsessed with the fact that it's happening and they listen to these analytics. I mean, if I needed that, honestly, I would have gone and got my master's in math. This is football and this is betting. I don't want to hear it. I will never agree that you have to have all that nonsense. It's the same thing in baseball. There's so many analytics with baseball now where it's still the same thing to me. Throw ball, hit ball, swing and miss, strike out, or get a hit. And then, the shift, and they took the shift away, and all the changes with the way the game, exit velocity, ball speed, spin rate. It's all so stupid. It's not even funny. I'll tell you what, you know what baseball is? It's boring. That's what it is. Golf is more exciting now than Major League Baseball. I told you before, if I watch a baseball game, now I bet on a lot of baseball games, but I can't watch them because they're like heroin. I mean, you watch it, literally by the fourth inning, I am snoring. I haven't been able to get through a 9-inning baseball game. The only game I sat through 9 innings this year was Paul Skeen's Major League debut. That was it. I can't watch 9 innings of baseball. I'd rather go to a wedding, honestly, and I hate weddings. The only reason I go to weddings is food. I hate weddings and people I don't know.
We have a matchup of a couple 2-0 teams in Minnesota this week. The Texans and the Vikings, Scotty. We'll go there next. Vikings are a quote-unquote surprise 2-0 team. They've gone from plus 275 to plus 105 to make the playoffs. 70% of the bets are on the Vikings to do that. Justin Jefferson did participate in some walkthroughs today. Of course, he left that game early on Sunday. They are getting 2.5 at home against the Texans, who are also 2-0, 45.5 the total.
I mean, I want to take the Vikings, but I don't believe in Jefferson's quad, and I also think the Texans are a better football team all around than the Vikings. So I think the buy for me is Houston.
Yeah, for me, it's leaning that way now. If Jefferson plays, I think you could pull me in on Minnesota, Scotty. I think you could pull me in, but I need to know he's playing. I need to know that he's out there, because I wasn't that impressed with Houston on Sunday night. I don't think you were either against the Bears.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night, I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was playing! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
So we talked about Love is close because he's practicing. I think it's better seeing him running around than seeing Jefferson walking around in a walkthrough. That means nothing to me. If a guy has a quad, I don't care if he can walk. If you got a quad pole tear, any kind of a quad injury, you're not running. So it must be nice and convenient for him. So I'm not buying Jefferson until I see it. And then, obviously, I'm seeing Love running around and doing his thing. He's got to be ready. Got to be close. I mean, if he wouldn't even be practicing if it wasn't the case.
For them to put him out on the field there today and let him do a couple things, run some plays, do that right there is enough for me to think that if he's doing that, the way LaFleur talked last week, we'll hear how he talks today too, I think he's going to play. Now, they haven't changed this yet, Sky. It's still Titans minus 2.5, 37.5 being the total. I would have to think that if there's a announcement between now and Sunday morning that Jordan Love is going to be the starting quarterback, you will see a much different number, Scotty, than Titans minus 2.5.
Yeah, and I got to be honest with you. I think that coach put pressure on Levis by calling him out. And I think that's going to add to his problems, to be honest with you. I like the guy's style, calling him out. He cost us. He made stupid mistakes, and it ruined the game for us. I think it was great that he did it. But I don't think it's great for Will Levis. I think it puts additional pressure on him to win, and they're just not that good. And look, I didn't think the Packers looked good against the Colts, but they won. Willis got it done. They won by 6. They're at Lambeau. I bet on them getting points at home as a dog at Green Bay. I mean, you got to be kidding me. I don't care who the quarterback is. So Bart Starr could come back and play quarterback for all I care. But if Love's playing, they'll beat the Titans.
Yeah, I've actually seen some people in Tennessee this week, Scotty, start to say that are ringing the bell for Mason Rudolph. Now, when Rudolph came in for the Steelers at the end of last year, he played very well. And I think that's also why people are starting to say they want to pull the plug on Levis if this continues. I think he's got this week, honestly. If he plays again, has another bad turnover, things like that, I think that guy is going to go to Mason rather quickly.
Look, I will not deny what Rudolph did blew my mind. So I'll leave it at that. He blew my mind, and he played really well. So you can think whatever you want about him. The proof's in the pudding. We saw him play at a high level and win games. And, 3 in a row, whatever it was. And I thought he looked fantastic. And then they never thought he looked great in Pittsburgh. And that's, I think, frankly, why they let him go.
Yeah, they really weren't in any – with all the quarterback problems that they've had, they weren't exactly in a big rush to keep him, even after him getting them to the playoffs last year, because he was a big part of that.
He never mattered, except for those 3 games.
That was it. Those 3 games where he finally – and he didn't play bad in the playoff loss to the Bills either. I didn't think he wasn't the reason they lost that game. Not at all.
And I'll tell you what, he was a good quarterback in college. I thought he had a strong arm. So he is not the worst backup quarterback in this league by any stretch. Believe me, there are so many hack backups in the NFL, it's not even funny. And I don't think he's, frankly, I think he's at the head of the class. Like, there's a few backups that can flat out play. And you're seeing one of them in Pittsburgh right now because Russell was going to be the starter and then Fields played. He can play. And he can break ankles and do this, do that. There are other guys that can play. I think that guy, Tyler Huntley, can play. I think he's a decent backup and a guy that might help their problem down there. We've seen him have success behind Lamar. So guys that can play. Look, Joe Flacco, you can say whatever you want about his age or anything else. My man can flat out play. And I never thought Minshew was a starter. Now that he is, we already know he can flat out play. So there are a few that can do it, and then there's a lot of them that are ass. I think we'll see Dalton play better than Young, so he's another guy that can play.
Certainly is. All right, we'll come back and start to get into the first game of the week, which is tomorrow night, the Patriots and the Jets. Of course, at MetLife, home opener for the Jets after going 1-1 on the road. 6-0 Diamondbacks. Second homer from Carroll. Randall Grichuk is homered as well. Not a good scene there, in Colorado.
There's going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
You know what? What can one of these quarterbacks or wide receivers do for me this year to make a wager? It's got to be the running conditions there for Jaden Daniels.
In regards to Jaden Daniels, you know I was on him in regards to the Heisman Trophy. I actually think he's going to do it on the ground, through the air, 40 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, playing in Cliff Kingsbury's offense where he wants to spread it and throw it. I think he's going to put up dynamic numbers.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The only streaming sports betting network. Tips, info, and insights to up your IQ. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
New to the Live Golf Plus app. Watch Live Golf any way you want it. Follow any group. Replay any shot. Anytime, anywhere. Any questions? Watch Live Golf live and on demand.
He had 4 grabs in the first half for just over 30 yards, was injured, came back in briefly, and then had to be carted off.
We were pessimistic on Puka Nakua's injury to the same right knee, of that being a nothing, just a bursa, and that's it, as per Sean McVay. We felt there could be a small PCL component.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.